The Sixers picked up a handful of undrafted players the other night, but who are they? Do they have the ability to make an impact? We'll break all of it down here on Philly Take with RB.
Perfect.
What is going on, everybody? RB here. Welcome into the show. Like always, hit the like button if you enjoy the content. Be sure to subscribe and also ring that bell. That way you don't miss any of the coverage. Big week coming up. We will be breaking down all of free agency and whatever happens, so cannot wait for that. Today, I want to get into some of the undrafted players. Obviously, Daryl Morey stood pat. The Sixers did absolutely nothing on draft night, but they did go out and pick up some undrafted players. So we will take some time to learn about them, see if they can make any impact at all. To be honest with you, though, just giving you a little bit of a foreshadow here, I think they have a hidden gem. So we will get into all of it, but before we do so, shout out to our sponsor of today's video, Magic Spoon. Shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Magic Spoon, the high-quality cereal that will bring you back to your childhood. Magic Spoon is inspired by Saturday morning cartoons, but is made for the 21st century with high protein and less sugar. Can you believe it? Magic Spoon is also gluten-free, has just 4 to 5 grams of net carbs per serving with 0 grams of sugar and all natural flavors. Now, my favorite meal to start the day is always a bowl of cereal for breakfast, but I've had trouble finding one that can limit the carbs until I found Magic Spoon. My favorite is the delicious peanut butter, and I can eat it in the morning or at night as a fueling snack. They have a bunch of great flavors, so go click the link down below to grab a variety pack and try it today. Be sure to use the promo code PhillyTake at checkout to get $5 off any order, or just go to magicspoon.com/PhillyTake. In fact, Magic Spoon is so confident in their product that it is backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they will refund your money with no questions asked. So go down to the description and click the link below, or scan the QR on the screen. Use code PhillyTake to get $5 off, or go to magicspoon.com/PhillyTake to save $5 today. All right, man, let's get into it. So one quick piece of news that I want to put out there. This was on Twitter last night from Michael KB. He says Jaden Springer expected to have a larger role with the Sixers next season. This team is excited about his development. We're going to be talking about developing players and, draftees. Essentially, Jaden Springer is almost like another draftee, right? Because the Sixers didn't have any, and, well, he hasn't really played much at all, but he did show a lot of development, especially in the G League. So hoping to see him have more of an opportunity under Nick Nurse and the new staff. But let's talk about what the Sixers did on draft night. So they did absolutely nothing. They had a draft board mystery leak, which we talked about yesterday. It was very, very interesting. But they did go out and get some undrafted players. Now, I want to just say 2 quick things before we dive into this. Number one, I'm seeing a lot of overhype on some of these players. I learned my lesson the last couple years. Again, these are undrafted players. They were undrafted for a reason. There's a lot of great talent. There's a plethora of talent across a bunch of different schools and levels, but these guys were undrafted. So, you got to really take a deep dive into them, to maybe see why they were or were not drafted. So am I expecting all of these guys to become NBA superstars? No. Keep that in mind. A lot of people are very hyped. I think it's just the antsiness of the Sixers not doing anything. And the other thing, speaking on that, is, yeah, I'm still frustrated that the Sixers did nothing. They had the draft board leak of buying a second-round pick. They didn't buy any second-round picks. They didn't move up. They didn't get anybody. They didn't make any trades. And, they need to start making things happen. I know some people are on the patient side. Some people are already over the cliff. I'm right in the middle, man. You have to do something here. But I'm not saying it's the end of the world yet. People were frustrated though on draft night. I mean, they did absolutely nothing. Was Daryl Morey awake? Was he awake? I don't know. But anyway, let's dive in. So the Sixers, after the draft, they signed undrafted guard out of Arkansas, Ricky Council IV, on a 2-way NBA deal. They also pick up Arizona's Azulis Tubelis and NC State's Terquavion Smith. And also they picked up on an Exhibit 10, Marcus Bagley, who's actually the younger brother of Marvin Bagley, who was the 2nd overall pick in 2018. Obviously, his career has not panned out the way, most people have wanted it to. But, yeah, you get his younger brother. So all these guys I would expect to probably end up in the G League, maybe, adding more ammunition to the Delaware Bluecoats, who are coming off as NBA, or not NBA, but G League NBA champions. But I want to start off with the guy who I think is a hidden gem in this group, and that is Terquavion Smith. Shout out to our guy Sean Bernard, who, we were live streaming the draft, and when the Sixers picked up these guys, again, I've heard of these names, but I'm not going to sit here and act like I've watched everything. So I went back and I watched some of their games, just picked up on some different things, looked around, and Terquavion Smith definitely stands out to me. Sean says his stats here, 22, 23, almost 18 points a game, 4 assists, 3.6 rebounds. He shot 33.6% from deep. And then Ricky Council, 16 points a game, 3.5 rebounds, almost 2.3 assists, and 27% from deep. We were looking at Ricky Council first the other night. By the way, his name is Ricky Council IV because his dad had 4 kids and named them all Ricky, which is very interesting. But anyway, the Sixers go out and they pick up some of these guys. And yeah, we'll talk about them. I like Terquavion Smith though, and I do believe again that a lot of people are overhyping this player. He has a good upside, he has good potential, but there were reasons that he did go undrafted. I did go back though, and I looked at some of the experts where they had him ranked, and a lot of people actually had him getting drafted in the mid-second round, like around the 35-40 range, and even as high as 27-28. That was the highest I found. In fact, last year, Brian Toporek actually put this out on Twitter. Draft Express at the end of last, college season, like right after the draft in 22, they actually had him going 13th overall. That's where he started, and I guess his stock fell this past year. But the thing I noticed, going back to watch some things about him is that he's a crafty scorer in terms of, getting to the mid-range, getting to his spots. He's a heavy PNR type of player, and he really knows how to maneuver a defense. And it seems like he has a good IQ, both as a facilitator and a scorer, which I do like. And he has that skill set. You can see it, right? You can see the tangible skill set of the quick burst, of the little bit of a freaky athleticism and the good ball handling, and really just getting his team involved and being one of those spark plug scorers that can go off. But I think what really held this guy back is the fact that he's just a little bit too small. I think he's 170. Maybe with the right nutritionist or the right training program, with the right support system in the NBA, maybe they can get this guy bulked up a little bit and improve his game. I really think it would do wonders. So we're going to look at a little bit of his tape here. Jonathan Givony puts it on Twitter. This is actually his last college game, and he had 32 points, showed his aggressiveness, scoring instincts, athleticism, and skill-changing speed, finishing at the basket and hitting tough floaters and pull-ups while playing better than usual defense. Defense definitely has been a knock, going back to the size thing. He's just a little bit too small, but I see a lot in him in terms of what I see in successful NBA guards, right? They have that, like you said, that crafty changing speeds and just being able to get to his spot. So here's a few things from Terquavion Smith out of NC State. I like this play here. He comes around the screen, really knows how to, again, Torgens by that was insane. The fact that he threw that down. I like how he's able to adjust his body in some of these different situations here and just find like that open lane to the basket. I like that. And again, he uses a lot of pick and roll. It seems like he has the highest ceiling out of the group. So, if he's able to, again, improve his body and get a little bit quicker and add to that quick first step. Look, see that right there? How he adjusted right off the bounce. And then look at that, catch and shoot 3, which is good. Another thing I really like about Terquavion Smith, the reason I believe he could be a hidden gem is there's certain characteristics when you look at some of these prospects that say, all right, they translate really well. He has a nice shot for him, both in catch and shoot and off the dribble. I really like it. And maybe it sounds basic, but the Sixers just don't have a lot of that. So I like, for example, watching Tyrese Maxey shoot a basketball. I like watching Terquavion Smith put it up, man. Look at that. Changes speeds right there. Look at that. Boom, mid-range. I like his shot form. Is it perfect? No. But it looks a lot better than what some of the Sixers players have. He's got to fix that foot or whatever's going on with that, but he's got a little floater to his game as well, as you just saw. And again, he knows how to get to his spot. So I really like Terquavion Smith's upside as a scorer. So that's really what we got on Terquavion Smith. We'll see if he ends up making anything happen, and we'll see how that goes. Let me know your thoughts on him down below. The next guy, Ricky Council IV. A lot of people are hype on this guy. I wouldn't say I'm as optimistic. I think the one skill about him that can translate is that freaky athleticism. He almost seems to me more of like a Nick Nurse type player. Now, again, there's an argument with that. Did Nick Nurse coach the way he did given the players that he had under Masai Ujiri? Was that Ujiri's kind of players, and Nick Nurse had to design a system around that. I don't know if we will know the answer to that question until we see how he could coach James Harden, Joel Embiid, etc. But Ricky Council IV really has that freak athleticism, almost like a Daniel House, and I think Daniel House will actually be utilized a lot more under Nick Nurse. But here's Ricky Council IV, and this was a tweet from Jonathan Gotting, and he says, Council IV has been Arkansas's top player so far and had another productive showing against Oklahoma, got to the soft spots of the defense. Consistency, versatility off the jumper might ultimately determine his ceiling. Let's see what he is able to do. Not really too much of a ball handler. Now, again, the last Arkansas player the Sixers got was Isaiah Joe. Unfortunately, he's not on the team anymore. But look at how he's an off-the-ball player, backdoor cuts, just being, one of those guys that can put a little pain spot on the defense, right? A guy you always have to worry about. You can't. I think what he needs to improve is just becoming more consistent, both as a scorer and also as a shooter, because we looked at this the other night, but yeah, his jump shot form is not it. It is not it. We'll take a break from this. And here's his jump shot form at Young Money APA's Pro Day. Look at this, man. Yeah, nah. We're going to need to work on that. This is the one reason. Now, again, jump shots can definitely improve, but it sometimes takes a long time given the structure that you have had, that foundation, just having that muscle memory, that repetition. It's going to take a little bit to fix this. And again, he shot 27% from deep, so definitely going to take some time to work on that. That jump shot cannot survive. I mean, it almost feels like he would fit right in with the Sixers, given the fact a lot of their jump shots look like that. But here's Ricky Council. Got a little bit of an inside game. And again, he's got some good vision there. And also, again, I just player, man, but he's going to have to work on other areas of his game. Thought he was going to shoot that right there. Look at that. Look at that. That's Daniel House-like. That's Daniel House-like right there. But that is Ricky Council IV. Let me know your thoughts on him down below. The last guy we'll take a quick look at is Azuolas Tubelis. And he actually had a 40-point game this year. And I want to play some highlights from that game. Again, still very raw. Didn't get drafted. He was with Arizona, who has been a disappointment in the tournament every year. But this guy is much more of a traditional inside player. He almost reminds me if like Filip Petrusev could develop an inside game and become more polished offensively. We don't know if Petrusev's coming over. But I like the way that this guy can just find his little spots there down low. And I like the fact that he actually has an inside game. In fact, when you think about it, how many of the Sixers players have an inside game other than Joel Embiid? Not many, right? You're going to have to add some of this length, this size, and obviously some rebounding. I think all of these guys, I think Ricky Council, I think Tubelis could both impact in that area if they ever were to make it to the Sixers, but still very raw. I mean, these guys are good players, but the NBA is a grown man league, so it definitely will take some time. In fact, bigs may even translate a little bit better given their skill set in terms of what they need to do on the Sixers, right? The Sixers need just pure rebounding. They need some interior defense, and they need guys that are going to be able to move around a little bit. So, yeah, as you can see, man, Tubelis is more of a natural inside player, and I'm sure the Sixers, wanted to stock up on that area. Who knows if Petrusev's going to come over. I liked what I saw from Petrusev in the Summer League, but Tubelis will definitely get a shot in the Summer League, and I'm hoping that he can make a little bit of an impact. He actually had a windmill at some point in one of these games. He's 6'11" and did a windmill in a game. So that's a good sign. So let me know your thoughts down below. Could you see any of these guys becoming one of those spark plugs or, one of those underrated pieces that should have been drafted and they find their way to the league? Or will they be G League stashes forever? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And with that being said, I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.